Hello everyone, and welcome to the Brickformula review of LEGO Set 7962, Anakin's and Sebulba's Podracers. It has 810 pieces for ages 9 to 14, and it's from the Star Wars theme, and this set retails for $89.99. Now before I continue, I would like to give a shout out to LegoLee329. He is a subscriber who had requested that I review this set, so everyone say thank you and visit his channel. Now moving forward, here in the front we see Sebulba cheating, nothing new there, but he's using a buzzsaw, which I don't recall seeing in the movie, but I guess anything goes. And then on the side here we have the minifigures, more on that later. And what the heck is Obi-Wan doing there? I don't recall seeing him in the Podracer scene, but like I said, anything goes. And then here in the back we see some playability, and then on the side here we see the other sets that just came out, and yes, I will be reviewing them, but for now let's just talk about this one, and here we go. Here are the minifigures, and first up is Watto, and as you can see they did a really good job with the details here. We have the belly, the eyes, the snout, and the teeth, all in different colors. Here's the back with the belt and the wings, and this is just one big rubber piece, see? Here's the torso, and it's pretty plain. He has short little legs, and this goes back on there pretty easily. Just to show you real fast, here's the old one. So clearly this is a huge improvement, because the old one was light blue, and it's just one color really, except for the torso. So this is a lot better, and this makes this exclusive to this set. I just wish that they added like maybe a translucent brick to his feet. This way it shows that he's always flying around. But it's okay, it's not really necessary. Overall they did a pretty good job. And the same can be said about Sebulba, and here's his details. He has eyes in the goggles, a little bit of purple over here. There's the back, and the arms can move, and they can also detach too. Here's a quick look at the old one. Okay, at the time I thought it was pretty cool. Now it looks like a statue to me. So I like this one a lot better. The only bad thing about him is that since the arms can detach, you can easily put these backwards by accident, which will still be fine, except that they won't attach to the studs properly. You just want to make sure that the hands always face outwards. Okay, and that's how you can get them to attach to the studs. Okay, and there we go. Next we have Wald, who's Anakin's Rodian friend, and unlike the other Rodians that we have seen, this one comes in a different shade of green. We have Greedo over here, who is in aqua color, and then there's Anakin the Far, who is in a different shade of green. I don't have him because that was the year that I decided to get married, so hopefully that should explain everything. But anyway, here's his details, and there's the back. It's pretty nice. Next we have Anakin. And first I just want to point out what a good job they did on the minifigure head. Okay, those are the goggles that go with his helmet. And there we go. Looks pretty competitive. Here's the details on the helmet. It's very nice. Really cool. And there's the back. And here's his alternate face, where he has the freckles. Looks a little bit innocent. Okay, and there we go. Now up to now I'm pretty happy with the minifigures. And then we get Obi-Wan, who doesn't really belong in this scene. But then again, this is the only set with Obi-Wan in there for the new Star Wars sets that came out this year. Okay, so this is the only way you can get them. And even though we have like maybe 4 or 5 different Obi-Wans there, this one's actually different because his head is different. He now has a double chin there, which you can see right there. And that's his alternate face, where he's a little more serious. And his torso is different too. Okay, let me show you the backside real quick. And there it is. Alrighty. Now to take a look at the Podracers. First, let's take a look at Anakin's Podracer, and we'll start by looking at the base, because this is a really nice feature that they got here. The base can come off just like that, and you can put that back on, and as you can see, it holds the Podracer pretty well. It's really well balanced, and it's really sturdy too, so you don't have to worry about that falling off or breaking apart. This base is actually built the same way as the one for Sebulba's Podracer. The only difference is that this part right here is in red, over there is in gold, which I'll show you later on. And you can pull this Podracer away from the base, and you can hold it like this, and now you can run around and race with it, which is really cool. Here's what the Podracer looks like from the side. There's the top. And here's the back, pretty neat. And here's the front, which is really awesome looking. Notice how wide the energy binder is. That's actually a really nice piece, and you'll know what I mean when you go towards the end of the video where I have a picture of the parts. Next we'll take a look at the pod, and if you look inside we have enough room for a minifigure to sit down. However, Anakin has these two short little legs, so you'll end up putting him in the last two studs, and then put the controls in his hands, and there we go. Pretty neat. These parts here can move up and down, although probably not intended to, because in the movie this is just one solid piece. Next, you'll see that we have these translucent Technic parts, which is a really nice touch, and that's something you don't see very often. Okay, it's really sturdy, and it gets the job done pretty good. I just wish that these pegs in here were also translucent, but it's okay, it still looks pretty good. Over here we have the engines, and these can move just a little bit, although not much. These can open and close, just like the ones in the movie. And these can open too. And over here, this can move as well. However, I don't think it's supposed to, because I think that's just there to help maintain the shape in the front over here. But overall, this is really nice, especially when you compare it to the old one, which is from set 7171 back in 1999. Obviously, the two cannot compare because this is a lot more simplistic. Okay, but just to show you real quick, okay, the old one is a little bit wider. Okay, I guess that's the best way to show you. And then as far as the length goes, the new one is longer by that much. Okay, and this is obviously a much more superior design, and overall they did a really good job as far as the details are concerned. And there we go. Okay, let's take a look at Sebulba's Podracer. Now I gotta say, they did a really good job with Sebulba's Podracer. It is significantly heavier than Anakin's, but despite that, the base can hold it pretty well. Combined with the Technic parts, this thing's not going anywhere. Okay, now while I have it on the base, it's a really good time to show you how to put Sebulba into the Podracer, because I find it easier to use two hands. If you can do it with one, good for you, but anyway, just put his arms in line with the legs over there, and then you just clip them to the front like that, and then just have him sit down. Okay, and there we go. And now he's ready to take on some Podracers. And now we can take it off the base, and it slides off just like Anakin's. And there's that gold piece that I mentioned earlier, so now you can tell the difference between the two, although it's not a big deal because they're the same thing. But anyway, here's what Sebulba's Podracer looks like from the side. There's the top. Beautiful, isn't it? And from the back, you can really appreciate the details there on the engines. Okay, and here is the front. Really awesome looking. If you've never liked Podracers, I think this one right here is enough to convince you that these things are really cool. Over here we have two of those parts for the energy binders, which is pretty neat. And I think they got pretty much all the details here, including these little blades here on the side. The engines here can turn. These can move a little bit, but I think they look cooler closed up like that. Okay, and there we go. Now, the only complaint that I have about this Podracer is that these buzzsaws here, now don't get me wrong, okay, in the movie they didn't have these, so that's why I don't really think they should be here. But then again, these are really cool the way they have it, and there are four of these, one on each part of this Podracer. Okay, now I looked in the Star Wars universe stuff, and there is mention that there is a buzzsaw on Sebulba's Podracer, but they don't say specifically where it's located. So I guess over here is pretty cool, because I can't think of anywhere else where it would be neat. Okay, so there we have it. Alright, now to compare it to the old one. As you can see, the old one is pretty massive, and here's what I mean by the buzzsaw. Okay, he has it on the sides over here this time, and on the front, which is also inaccurate. But anyway, moving forward, just to do a size comparison, the new one is actually shorter in width, as you can see here, and I would say about 4 studs on each side. And as far as the length is concerned, it's almost the same. Okay, the best way to show you is to do it this way, and then line it up again, and there we go. Okay, it's about the same, maybe a stud or two off. But no matter how you look at it, this new one here is obviously the more superior model. Okay, and there we go. Beautifully done. Alright, now to go on to the recommendations. Overall, this is a pretty good set. We haven't seen the Podracers since 1999's release. Assuming you do not count the miniatures, this re-release is actually pretty good. They're very sturdy, they're very detailed, and they have really good playability, because you can hold them like this and you can run around and race them. The length is about the same. Okay, there we go. Anakin's racer is maybe a little bit longer, but his Podracer is smaller than Sebulba's, which is fine because that's how it was in the movie. Now, for a Star Wars set, the value is pretty good at 810 pieces for $90, not bad, and you get 5 exclusive minifigures. So in a way, you can't go wrong. So if you're a huge Star Wars fan and you love the pod racing and you missed out the first time around, then this set is definitely for you. Okay, and that sums up my review. Hope you guys enjoyed the show, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.